Today's story is something I'm sure that all of you have read in high school. The story that made everyone go, ew, wasn't that the story about the lady who was into dead guys? I'm going to be talking about A Rose for Emily by William Faulkner. But in all honesty, the whole of this story really isn't all that dark. This story is basically, let's talk about this bitch behind her back, the story. So, Miss Emily Grierson is dead, and the whole town goes to her funeral. But it's not exactly for the reasons you might think. So, what's the first thing they do when someone they know dies? Ah, shit, let's go through her stuff! You see, Emily was kind of a hermit when she was alive, and hadn't had company in a billion years, so everyone's a little suspicious of her. Like, how dare you not talk to us? So, now that Emily's hit the floor, it's time to get to the bottom of this. Come on, let's dig up some dirt on this old biddy. But what fun would going through all this lady's shit be if we didn't know her history in the town? We're taken back to the time when Emily was just in her 20s. Her father just died, so she's having a bit of a hard time. Fortunately for her, the mayor, Colonel Sartosis, is a real nice guy, and says she doesn't have to pay her taxes. But when a new board of directors take over, they don't know a thing about what Colonel Mitosis Neckbeard said, cause he died. So they're just like, who does this bitch think she is, not paying her taxes? They go to Emily's house to talk to her, and she basically sticks her fingers in her ears and doesn't listen, so they can't get through to her. And that's that. So she vanquished them horse and foot, just as she had vanquished their fathers 30 years before about the smell. Ah, yes, the smell. So about 2 years after Emily's dad died and after her fiancé ditched her, the neighbors noticed a weird smell starting to come from Emily's house. I guess Miss Emily decided to stop showering. You're gonna make me pay taxes? Fine. I'll stop wearing deodorant. How do you like me now? Well, anyway, the smell gets so fucking rank that the neighbors start complaining to the board. Isn't there some kind of rule that says that you're not allowed to smell bad? Actually, ma'am, I think you are thinking of melee tournaments. But Judge Stevens says there's nothing he can do about it. But is it that he can't do anything about it, or is it that he won't do anything about it? God damn it, man, I can't go telling a lady she smells bad to her face. What if she cries? I do not do well with crying women. Even Stevens is useless. So instead of confronting Emily and telling her that she smells like shit, he sends some men over to her house in the middle of the night to hang up air fresheners everywhere, basically. But while they're over there, they notice Emily just sitting in the window, all by herself, as still as can be. Ugh, shit, now I feel bad. For a good cause, though. Yeah, so everyone starts to feel bad for Emily after the smell goes away. After all, it's a lot easier to feel sympathy for someone if they don't smell bad. They start gossiping to each other about how Emily's great aunt, Old Lady Wyatt, that's a mouthful, had gone insane and besmirched the family name. And, Miss Emily seems like she's on the same track, if you know what I mean. Man, don't these people have anything better to do than to sit around discussing Emily's family history? Anyway, Emily hardly leaves her house, she has no social life, no chances of ever getting married because her away all of her boyfriends when he was alive, but Emily's luck wasn't always this bad. We jump back a few years to a time when the town was undergoing some construction, and along with this construction came a hot hunk of a guy named Homer Barron. Everybody in town knows Homer, and soon enough, Emily knows him too. Homer takes one look at Emily and he's like, antisocial, slowly going insane, destined to become stinky one day. That's my kind of woman right there. Homer Simpson starts taking Emily out on buggy rides every Sunday, so the town really doesn't have any reason to worry about her anymore. But if Emily's life is good, then what are we going to gossip about? There has to be something wrong with this guy. I mean, what will our lives be if we can't gossip about Emily? So the townspeople start gossiping about how Emily's throwing away her reputation by going out with this day laborer. Yuck, a man who does physical labor? He's probably got rock hard abs. Ugh. Poor Emily becomes a commonly used phrase in the town. Yeah, poor Emily is right. Poor Emily can never catch a break from you people. So one day, out of the blue, Emily goes to a drug dealer and demands some poison. What can I do for you? I need something only you can give me. Well, I've got acid, cocaine. What can I get you? No. I need arsenic. Whoa, man, is everything all right? You know, if you ever need to talk about it, I'm here for you. Not for me. Well, I'm not getting involved in this shit. The druggist hesitantly sells Emily some arsenic, and somehow the town finds out about it because, as we've already established, they have no lives. They're like people who watch vloggers on YouTube. I wonder what a vlog channel from Emily would be like. Hey guys, it's Miss Emily, and today I'm gonna be buying some arsenic. Okay, I'm off track. Anyway, the town finds out that Emily bought herself a nice thing of poison, and they suspect that either she's gonna kill herself with it, or she's gonna kill Homer with it. And coincidentally, she just started suspecting that Homer was gay. Damn, Emily, you're gonna be on the wrong side of history. Homer Baron? More like Homo Baron. That sounded a lot funnier in my head. But anyway, Homer goes into Emily's house one day and never comes out, so I think it's safe to say that Homer was the one who took the blow. Emily continues her secluded ways until she decides to start giving China painting lessons in her house. I guess she's rebranding her YouTube channel. That's usually never a good sign. I don't really know who'd want to take painting lessons from the crazy lady who poisoned her fiancé and never leaves her house. Emily's business doesn't really take off. Shocker. So she lives the rest of her days alone and dies as a fat old lady. Right, so now that we know a little bit more about Emily's past, I want to see what's inside that fucking house, don't you? After all these decades, the clouds of dust in Emily's room were kicked into the air. As the dust clouds part, the townspeople find themselves staring down at none other than... Uh-oh. Homer, is that you? Turns out Emily's been sleeping with her dead boyfriend. And, yeah, that's, pretty much it. See, everyone thinks this story is so dark and creepy, but it's really only the end. For, like, the entirety of the story, I'm just getting gradually more and more annoyed at the people who are sticking their nose into Emily's business. Like, why do you all care so much? Like, you have no reason to suspect that she's a creep who fondles dead bodies. Also, where the fuck was the rose? This fucking story's called A Rose for Emily, but I don't remember anyone giving Emily a rose. Maybe the rose is symbolic for her undying love of Homer, who she would rather kill and engage in necrophilia than be without. Or maybe it's just because roses smell nice, so Emily probably should have put a few in her house to alleviate the smell or something. The moral of this story is that if your neighbors are nosy little pieces of shit, then fucking give them something real to talk about and sleep with the skeleton, and they won't be bugging you anymore. I know I wouldn't.